1 Corinthians 15:30 through 34 says, "Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals. Become sober-minded as you ought. Stop sinning, for some have no knowledge of God. I speak to this of your shame." Well, if you're joining us and reading through the 90-day reading plan, today's reading is 1 Corinthians 15:20 through 49, and I encourage you to read that passage. My grandmother always had a saying, "You can always stoop down and pick up mud." What she meant by this is we can always lower our standards, but it's much more difficult to maintain them if you're stooping down. Those with whom we associate will dictate how we are viewed by those around us. If we are constantly associating with people that have no relationship with Christ, we will soon pick up their habits. Now, this doesn't mean that we do not associate with anyone who's not a believer in Christ. What it does mean is that we are not to associate solely attached to them. If we are going to win people to Christ, or even just tell them about Christ, then we must associate with them. But our relationship with them is not to be the same as our relationship with those who are believers. We have a relationship that is different if the other person is a believer. We are related as a family member. We're related because we have, or should have, the same goals. We are related because we share in the same communion table with other believers. Or do you think that communion is only between you and Christ? Certainly when we participate in communion, or the Lord's Supper as some know it, our relationship with God through Christ is primary. But we do not participate in a vacuum. We are surrounded by fellow believers, and these believers are everywhere, and not just in our building. It is through Christ's blood that we are related. It is through Christ's blood our salvation is realized. It is through Christ's blood that we work out our salvation with fear and trembling. And it is through Christ's blood that we will be able to stand before the throne of God. In your daily walk, do you look more like Christ or the world around you?